We cannot allow a handful of communist radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws and assume the duties that belong solely to the President of the United States. Judges are trying to take away the power given to the President to keep our country safe, and it's not a good thing. But I hope, for the sake of our country, that the Supreme Court is going to save this, because we have to do something. Nothing will stop me in the mission to keep America safe again. It's very simple.
Boy, isn't that the truth? I mean, he just teed right off on it. The other headline, Trump torches globalist elites and politicians in first 100 days speech. Joining us now is the center of 100 days, House Judiciary Chair, Mr. Jim Jordan, my very dear old friend. Jim Jordan, you're the head of Judiciary. You heard the president. You got all these rogue activists, left-wing, God knows what judges. You know, they're trying to weaponize the system against Trump still. So you got to do something about it, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, well, the president's, first of all, is exactly right. His name was the one on the ballot. He's the one who got elected. He's supposed to make the decisions. And guess what, Larry? The Constitution supports that. Article 2, Section 1, first sentence says executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States, not some federal judge who says, turn the plane around, bring the bad guy, the illegal migrant who's a part of an international terrorist gang, turn it around and bring him back to the country. No, that's not how it works. So we have already passed in the House legislation which says these judges who issue an injunction, the injunction doesn't apply nationwide. It simply applies to the parties in the case in that respective jurisdiction. So we've worked on it legislatively. We had your previous guest, Newt Gingrich, come as part of our oversight of this and talk about the history of this issue and what needs to happen. And frankly, we're going to have to use the power of the purse as well. So use all three levers we have to make a difference. But the president's right. In the end, the Supreme Court's going to have to weigh in. And I think they're going to say the guy whose name's on the ballot gets to make the decisions in the executive branch, not some federal judge, not 600-700 of these guys around the country. They're not the president.
Well, the real jury voted decisively on November 5th. I mean, I think that's a very important point. Now, the other thing is this Breitbart story that you and Brian Mast, Mr. Mast is the chair of the House Foreign Relations Committee. Rogue judges are out to stop Trump's agenda. Is he putting up new legislation, or are you co-sponsoring, or what should we know about this?
Well, I think you see that all House Republicans are focused on this issue, but we've already had legislation that's passed. That was sponsored by Congressman Issa, which dealt with the injunction issue. Right. And now we're doing the oversight that we need to do as well to highlight what's going on. There's some other things we can do with inquiries we may make to find out what's exactly going on in the judicial branch. But we think this is that important and recognizes this fundamental principle. It's the people whose name's on the ballot, not the experts, not the Dr. Fauci's of the world, the bureaucrats who run things, not some unelected judge, but the people who get elected by we, the people, in the election.
You know, I was talking to Newt about this also. This discussion about the first 100 days with all these phony polls that give Trump 35% of the vote when, in fact, he got 50%. But the point is, the 100 days theme, I think, is promises made, promises kept. He is doing what he told the American people he would do, Jim Jordan. He is out there doing it. It ain't perfect. There are always glitches when you start out a new administration. But basically, line by line, border, deportation, taxes, regulation, energy, judges, and so forth. He's doing what folks want him to do. I think that's the key point to the first 100 days.
More than any elected official in our lifetimes, Larry, President Trump does what he said he was going to do, does what he got elected to do. I think the big three things in my mind are border is now secure, military recruitment is now off the charts, and maybe most important for the work that we do on judiciary and oversight, these agencies that used to be weaponized against we the people under the Biden administration are now actually working for the taxpayers, working for the citizens, and you see it no clearer than with the Department of Homeland Security, which, if you remember, under Joe Biden tried to set up the Disinformation Governance Board, as if some bureaucrats was going to tell us what we could say, what we could post, what we could tweet. And the Department of Justice, which said, if you're a mom and dad at a school board meeting, we're going to investigate you. Or if you're pro-life Catholic, you're an extremist. All the weaponization. Now those two agencies are working for the taxpayers, deporting illegal criminals, part of terrorist organizations, doing what President Trump said. So those to me are the big three that really stand out in this 100 days of winning of President Trump.
You see this story in Milwaukee, this crazy judge, Duggan, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She let the terrorist criminal out the side door. So they've actually suspended her. I mean, even Wisconsin State Supreme Court, which is liberal court, they actually suspended her. So you know what? There's little pieces of evidence here and there that even the lefties have figured out this is what people want. I mean, I just think, you know what? History is on your side. You've been doing this a long time. History is on your side. Trump is leading the charge. He is doing what America wants him to do.
Exactly what the country wants him to do, and exactly what he told him he was going to do. Again, I always say we make this way too complicated. What did you say you were going to do when you put your name on the ballot? If you get elected, go do it. And he does it better than anyone I've seen.
All right, terrific stuff. I'm sorry, we did all the economic stuff in the first half. I know you secretly want to be the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, but I will just tell you this, 22.5% growth in business investment spending does not spell recession. That was in the report. Anyway, there's nobody better than Mr. Jim Jordan, the chair of the Judiciary. Nobody better in the Congress.